Hey everyone, Michael with OwnerBuilderClass.com here. As many of you know, I'm regularly giving out rough cost to build numbers to our owner builder students located throughout the country. So when I came across this great looking house plan, I thought it might be a good idea to share the cost to build with those of you who are thinking of building a new home. I'm going to share with you today the details of this house plan and describe why, as a builder, I think this small house rocks, and I'm going to share with you the rough estimated cost to build based on current housing cost data, and then I'm going to talk to you about the current cost to finish the basement by owner. I just went through a detailed cost analysis for a finished basement, and I can tell you a handy homeowner can still finish their own basement for an affordable price, which really lowers the overall cost per square foot for the new home. Let's first talk about the details of this home as I share with you some of the great photos provided by the house designer. Now, I reached out to Advanced House Plans, the creators of this plan, to see if they would share these images so I could show you some of the cool features. This single-story design has 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, a 2-car garage, full basement, 2x6 exterior walls with 9-foot ceilings. The plan has 1,343 square feet, which is rather small, I know, but keep in mind, you can double the square footage just by finishing the basement. I really like the covered porch to keep rain or snow off of that entryway. And as we step inside, I like the privacy of that foyer. The plan has a good sized great room with fireplace and a volume ceiling that makes the space feel bigger. The kitchen is open to the great room and has a nice bump out with space for the kitchen table. The island makes a great space for gathering or to prep food, and the large walk-in pantry would be awesome for Costco trips. There's also a handy little mudroom off the garage with a separate laundry. The 2 secondary bedrooms are small-ish, but perfect for kids, guests, even a home office or workout room. The owner suite has a nice tray ceiling to make the space feel bigger, with ensuite bath and a walk-in closet. Now, the designers have done a great job of maximizing space in this home. I'm going to share with you the labor and material cost data to build the house only, meaning I'm not including land costs, land development costs, or non-house related costs. These costs I'm giving you are based on national cost data and therefore will look crazy cheap if you're in California and really too expensive if you're in one of the more affordable housing locations throughout the country. It's important to note that I'm giving you costs for labor and materials to build this home. I'm not including builder markup or overheads. Why? Because my focus in life is to use my years of experience as a home builder to help those people that want to manage their own home build. Now, this helps them lower costs, get exactly what they want, and take tremendous pride in their new home. So the rough estimated cost to build this house from footings through to final paint touch-ups is $238,000. Now, this is for the labor and materials to build the house with an unfinished basement. But it would be a shame for the basement to stay unfinished, especially when we have the chance to build the initial house so it will be much easier to finish the basement. So let's talk a little bit about how we can finish a lower level for a crazy low cost per square foot. I like the idea of building the home and work on getting settled in the house while letting the basement sit unfinished for the first year. This gives us time to hang window treatments, add custom decorating ideas, and get all our stuff moved in and settled. And waiting a year to finish the lower level accomplishes 2 major things. First, it allows all that concrete in the basement to dry out with our dehumidifier set at 30 to 50% humidity. Remember, all the walls and floor are new green concrete that needs to dry out. Letting a year go by before finishing also allows us to monitor the basement walls for any moisture or for any cracking from uneven settlement prior to covering them up. We want to create a finished space that will last for many trouble-free years, and this 1-year probation period really allows us to make sure that the basement is ready to go. So let's move on to the basement finishing costs. When we're building a home from scratch, knowing we're going to be finishing the basement in the future, it's easy to incorporate what's needed to finish the basement up front and save us money later on. We put in a 200 amp electrical service, properly insulate and waterproof the basement walls, add egress windows for future bedrooms, locate water heaters, sump pits, furnaces, ductwork, wiring and such out of the way of future finished space. We also include rough-in plumbing below the basement slab. You might even consider insulating the basement floor to make it feel more comfortable on your feet. All of this prevents us from having to do rework or move items that typically happens when finishing the basement of an older home. And all of this pre-planning saves money. Now for this basement, we assume that the owner is managing the project themselves, so there's no markup or overheads for a builder, and we assume the mechanicals are the only labor portion that will be contracted out. And when I say mechanicals, I'm referring to the plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. I would recommend using the same contractors that did the initial work on the home, assuming you are happy with their work and their pricing is fair. So we're talking about the owner performing a good portion of the labor to finish their basement. Remember, a basement is a relatively simple project. There are typically no structural portions to the build. We're framing up walls, we're installing mechanicals, insulating drywall, and then we're applying the finishing touches. And the best part about a basement finishing project is that we can start and stop work anytime and just lock the door to keep the kids out. It's easy to keep the mess contained down there, and there really is no rush to finish once we start. Not to mention the fact that there are no expensive specialized tools needed. Anything that you don't have can be purchased or rented, and depending on how long you're going to need them, you may decide to just rent them. So I just bid out a 750 square foot finished basement with 2 bedrooms, a full bath, a small kitchenette, and a rec room. The mechanicals will be installed by others and all other physical work by owner, and the cost comes out to be roughly $20 per square foot. So if we add this 750 square foot finished lower level to the 1,343 square foot main house plan, we get a living space of 2,093 square feet at a total cost of $253,000 for the labor and material cost. Now this is for a home project managed by owner, with the owner finishing their own basement a year after move-in. This is a great looking, very efficient house design that can be expanded with an affordable basement finish in the future. So if you're looking for a new home and you want an efficient build, this house design might be just right for you. Now I'm going to put the link to the house plan provider in the video description. Now this is Michael with ownerbuilderclass.com. Thanks for watching.